Due to the graphic nature of its content, listener discretion is advised.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, the entire Cigars and Sea Stories team, we're making history on this one, people, is together under one roof here in the CNS studios. Scott Levy, fellow Marine, is joining us. Scott Levy is a film actor, television actor. He's also done video games, music, videos. Following his service as a Stinger missile gunner in the United States Marine Corps during the Persian Gulf, he wound up going into, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it was audio engineering, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, fantastic. And also, Scott Levy, on film, Scott played the lead role alongside Vanilla Ice in the Helix, Loaded. A parody of The Matrix. He has also acted in the Dentos with Mariette, Hartley and John Saxon. Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged,
awesome movie.
Who is John Galt. Yes, fantastic movie. The book, everything across it. And as a Marine in Afghanistan in the Submarine Kid with Finn Wittbrock of Unbroken. On television, Scott has had roles in Sniper, Inside the Crosshairs, The Eric Andre Show, Crisis, New York Underwater, and many others. Scott has also lent his motion capture and vocal talents to video games including Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, Devil's Third, and Medal of Honor Warfighter, which led to starring in Linkin Park's Castle of Glass music video. Holy shit. That's an impressive resume, brother.
Is.
That's awesome. We're honored to have you on to share sea stories with us. What's going on?
Oh, I'm stoked to be on with you guys, man. It's always good to hang out with other vets, whether it's virtually or in person.
So tell us, how did you come to meet Bennett Tanton?
Can I tell that story?
No, I want to hear from him.
Basically, it was literally it was one of those things like we're looking for people that are adding value to the veteran community because Scott is also active in some charity stuff for veterans, and literally found him on Facebook and said, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to this guy, and here we are.
Cool.
Stalking as usual.
As I am. It's my recon skills.
A stalker. Yeah.
That's it.
A different kind of stalking.
Stalking. Yeah. Recon / stalking.
So Scott Levy, you're a Marine, huh? And a Stinger missile gunner. So you shoot fucking MiGs out of the air?
So cool.
Are you a space shuttle door gunner as well? Tell us about this.
I'm aspiring to be at some point a space shuttle door gunner, whether that's in real life or on film. That sounds like it would be a kick-ass job.
That does sound like a cool movie too.
Yeah, so Scott, I got to tell you, Mike had a moment of confusion. I don't know if it was like an Alzheimer moment or what. Earlier, we were talking, was it yesterday or this morning?
It coincided with a policy episode.
Yeah.
It was no big deal.
Anyway, we were texting back and forth, and he texted me and said, this guy we're going to interview, he's a dragon gunner. And then, Bennett had just told me that you were a Stinger gunner. Uh-huh. And then Mike says dragon gunner. I'm like, oh, well, I was a dragon gunner. So I'm like, that's cool. And so Michael's making a big deal. Oh, you guys are both dragon gunners. You can talk about,
and I'm like,
your days. And I'm like, wait a minute, they're not the same thing.
It was a different missile.
So what the hell is he? And anyway.
He's a Stinger gunner.
It is very different.
So, but Michael was a grunt, so he ought to have known better, but whatever. I don't know.
I'm a tube
stroker. We definitely felt like we were grunts. We just happened to be lugging around, an anti-aircraft missile. But other than that, everything we did was pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah.
We had vehicles, but we never got to use them. We just got to clean them and PM them all the time. Other than that, we were humping.
Yeah. So what years were you in? From when to when?
90 to 92.
Okay.
And unfortunately for me, I never deployed because by the time I was done with Stinger School, the war was over. Basically. So that sucks. But, it's kind of cool being able to do this job. I kind of feel like I got a second chance because I get to do it in movies and video games. So that's kind of a good second prize.
Yeah.
Second place.
Cool. And go ahead.
Well, no, it's very cool. I'm very intrigued by the video game atmosphere. because you've done voiceover. I mean, I played some of the games that you've been, doing voice
cool.
work on. Oh yeah, definitely. So it's weird. It's like, holy shit, kind of recognize that, the hype voice in the background, like we gotta take that position.
I say that a lot. We gotta take that position.
That's awesome.
So if you played,
I do a lot of yelling, get down, frag out.
Yeah.
Just over and over.
Over and over.
Man. It just seems at the end, it seems way more glamorous than it actually is what you're saying.
Well, it's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's pretty cool to sit there and play a game and hear yourself. And,
yeah.
Like, it's kind of trippy. It's pretty surreal. But, the day-to-day, it's just like any other job. It can be a grind. It can be fun. I feel very lucky to have it. I didn't set out to become a video game actor. I was very lucky. EA called my agent about 4 years ago and said, "Hey, do you have any actors that are military vets?" They were gearing up for Medal of Honor and Army of Two, and which I thought was really awesome of them. Like I give them huge props for hiring vets.
For actually wanting to do that. That's pretty
cool. So I went out for it and I got it, and all the games that I've gotten since then have been based on that original first audition, which is rad.
Did you just say rad?
Yeah.
He did. He said rad. Oh, that's awesome.
I still do.
Right on.
Oh my god.
See, he's our era.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
So I'm an old guy. I'm 48. I came in originally in '86, and so
I'm 44.
You say things that bring me back. It's like, yeah, that's awesome.
That's the plan. I'm bringing it back. Baby.
Yeah.
See, what's hysterical is that I gotta laugh. Hold on.
Are you guys gonna buy matching jean vests or something?
Is that Tim actually went into the military on?
Say again.
Tim actually went into the military on Michael's birthday, his actual birthday.
Really?
Yeah, because him and Sebastian are young bucks.
Which means I'm a child.
So you're a boot. That's all.
Such a child.
Perpetual bootness.
I'm a boot with a star in a combat action. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Sit and take it like a man.
So are you now? Here's the big question. Marine Corps wise, are you an East Coast Marine or a West Coast Marine?
Oh, yeah.
See? That's right.
Do you have daughters?
Yeah. What's that?
Do you have daughters? Everybody who's East Coast has daughters.
Yes,
There's
true.
something in the water.
Yes, it's something.
There's
the curse
something.
of the
There's
East Coast
like
Marine.
saltpeter going on. No?
I don't. I actually have my girlfriend has two boys, which are pretty much they're my kids basically at this point. We've been together 5 years.
Oh, there you go.
You didn't have the mandatory Marine Corps divorce.
No, I skipped that step.
Wow, lucky bastard.
Yeah, I don't know where this.
Because you weren't in long enough. That's all.
So Scott Levy, where are you originally from?
Born in Jersey, raised in Florida, outside of Orlando.
And you were recruited out of there?
Yeah, out of Orlando. Mm-hmm. Maitland.
And then,
did you go to Disney World a lot?
Oh my God! Every summer, my mom would get me and my sister a season pass to Disney World.
That's so cool.
It's the way to
right?
do it.
Like everybody thinks it's the coolest thing ever, but after like 2, 3, 4, a month, like you're just exhausted of.
You've already
Disney
been there
World.
like 6 times, and you're like,
yeah,
right?
I
But
guess.
it
wanna
was.
kill
But I
Mickey
look
at
back
that
on it
point.
now, like as looking back on her as a parent, going, that was brilliant. Like that's so much cheaper than camp or like, right?
it is. No, it really is though. It's true.
Here, just let them.
I was really surprised at how inexpensive the season passes are. Even now,
yeah, it's a good deal.
At the end of the day, you only have to go like 2 or 3 times for it to pay for itself.
Totally, and we were there every day, so
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Run along to Disney, guys.
I love the mouse. You gotta love the mouse.
Right?
Yeah.
It was fun. Again, not complaining. I could have been a way worse childhood.
Yeah.
That's like you just smoke a joint the size of a tampon and hit Typhoon Lagoon. 12 hours later, you're a fucking lobster peeling yourself back out to the parking lot. I think it sounds like a solid thought. I mean, that's every high schooler's dream. No? What, am I wrong?
Well, they don't have Harry Potter World. That's at Universal Studios.
Oh, that's cute.
No, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
You and my
there you go.
sister-in-law can go there.
Nice.
So what? You get out of the Marine Corps in 92?
2, yeah.
Okay. And what sends you down this path to get to Hollywood?
So
yeah, what the hell were you
I
thinking?
Set out on a medical, so I had no idea what the hell to do with myself. I was pretty much planning on making a career out of the Marine Corps. I'd been talking with my battery XO. He was a Mustang. He was going to try to get me on the MECEP program. I was going to go to school, do the whole thing, become an officer. And, got medicaled out. And all of a sudden it was like, what do I do now? I had no plan B. I didn't even know what I was interested in. And so I got back to Orlando, and I was just kind of delivering pizza and, screwing around, acting like I was still in high school. And I was talking to this dude one night at a party, and he was telling me about Full Sail, which was kind of a new school at the time. And we were talking about music and bands, and I was always into music and live recording and or live sound and studio recording. And so I looked into it, and I started doing the audio engineering program, and I loved it. And then I found out they had a film program as well, and I found myself like totally helping people with their film projects, and I loved it. So I did that program as well when I was finished. And then I moved here to LA, and I got a job building sets in Burbank, which was horrible, not horrible, but just very, just dirty, hot,
Sounds like Daryl.
stinky,
grunt work,
swinging a hammer, whatever. And one day I got a phone call from the placement department at school, and they were like, hey, George Lucas, his Skywalker Sound is gearing up for the next Steven Spielberg Jurassic Park movie, The Lost World. And they asked us to send resumes of our top grads, which I had no idea I was even one. They were like, do you mind if we submit you? I was like, no, please. Please.
Yeah.
Short answer.
I'm like, do they have air conditioning? Like, yeah, I'll start tomorrow. Come on, let's do this. So long story short, I got the interview, and I went up to San Francisco to Marin and got the job and worked there for about a year and a half. Did Titanic with Cameron and Contact, and lost a bunch of great, amazing, cool movies.
Keep going, Scott. This is good stuff.
Yeah, hell yes, Scott Levy. This is fantastic. A Marine out there adding value to the world. This is cool.
Hell yeah, man.
Going out to Hollywood and actually doing something about it.
Not bad for a Stinger gunner. I mean, come on.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good life lesson. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, kind of thing, because you never know what fate is going to have in store for you.
So what was the timeline from the time you got out to LA to the time you got that break with the movie? How long were you sort of struggling doing the?
I got out in '92, and then that was the beginning of '97 that I started with Lucas. So yeah, that was a good 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, that was some wasted time.
Yeah,
there was some wasted time in there.
Yeah. Well, you said something earlier. It kind of struck a nerve with me. You talked about how, you didn't have a plan and you just, I don't know. I think you used the phrase you felt lost, or maybe I just was transposing that on your conversation.
Absolutely lost. Yeah. Absolutely, treading water attached to, a 45-pound weight.
It's like you were on Titanic.
And I think, yeah. I did
recon in dock, swimming with the brick over your head.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Only people are adding bricks.
I'm definitely not alone. I mean, you see what's going on in the vet community and the suicide rate, and guys can't get jobs, and the unemployment. Like the fact that I got out of the Marines and had all that training and all the things that you go through and that you learn, all the intangibles, and the only job I could get was delivering pizza, is a pretty sad indictment. And it hasn't even gotten better. 20 years later, it's not any better. So I mean, we could do a whole show about that.
But in regards to that transition, if you could do one thing over again, what would that be? That's a tough one, I know, but
it is, but it's a good question. For one thing, right off the bat, I would have approached but this is all like if you knew then what you know now kind of stuff. So I don't know if it applies, but I would have gone to the VA certainly faster and applied for all of that stuff.
Yeah.
but they don't tell you, and still I hear from guys getting out right now.
Well, back in the 90s, they didn't tell anybody anything about, I didn't even know the VA existed, frankly.
Yeah.
For the 2 years of my first transition, it was like that. So that's a really good point.
Absolutely. So that's number one. That's first thing that comes to mind. And also I would have, it's a lot easier with the internet now as well, but I would have tried to stay in touch with the vet community much, much better than I did.
Yeah.
It's so important, no matter what you did and how long you were in. It's so important that you stay involved with that brotherhood and that family of active duty and vet. My life has completely changed since I did that. Since I've been more in touch with the community and helping out, with the 501c3s, the nonprofits that I work with, Young Marines and Operation Supply Drop. There's such a sense of community that I feel again, and that I was really missing for 20 years almost.
Yeah.
And it sucks. So I don't know how light you guys are trying to keep this.
No, man, you can go down any road you want to go down. We have a lot of fun on the show, and
we also get really heavy.
We do. We get as heavy as we feel like getting, and what you're saying is important, because we've had these same exact conversations with so many guys. I want to talk to you more about some of the nonprofits that you're working with now, but before we switch topics, though, just kind of delving more into this experience after you got out and trying to make that transition. It's becoming a recurring theme for our guests and just our little group here at Cigars and Sea Stories that we all seem to have had that period of time when we were just lost, like a ship without a rudder. And
yeah, it's horrible.
And then there also seems to be that common thread of at some point we were disconnected from our veteran community, the people that are like us. And, what's funny, this is just sort of an observation I've made. We've talked a little bit about it back and forth. Just the idea that, there are guys on active duty giving guys who are about to separate advice on how it's going to be. And they've never done that transition themselves. So what the hell do you know?
Yeah, no, I remember that very well. I remember the gunny and staff sergeant telling me that there were no jobs and how horrible it was going to be. And I remember that very well. It's bizarre.
Feel like it's all going to fail before you even set foot out the door.
Yeah, they really send you off with in such a negative way, and that's part of the thing that makes people not want to be part of the vet community or the military community. You're just screw that. Why do I want that negativity in my life?
Yeah.
And then you try to get as far away from it as possible, and then I don't know, this interesting thing happens where you gravitate back toward it, and then you sort of become whole again. It's very fascinating, really.
It almost happens with everybody, and that's kind of the theme, I think, that goes across the whole community. Is they don't realize that what they're running from is actually the thing that they have to lean on the most.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the one thing they need.
Yeah, but you don't want anything to do with the military after you get out.
Yeah, you want to grow a beard, grow your hair long, and you want to just right. You want to be the ultimate civilian. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think it's also so important, and especially now with the internet, because it's so much easier. You can keep in touch with everybody through social media. It's so important just for your own mental health, because it feels crazy. You feel like a crazy person when you get out of the military and you come out into this crazy Wild West world of civilians that are so undisciplined and nasty, and you just cannot even relate. You feel like a crazy person.
Yeah, I mean, because you're the only one that thinks the way you think, so it must be me. It can't be all of them.
It can't be all of them.
Yeah.
But little do you know that what you're running from is the answer to all your problems.
Absolutely.
In the end of it.
Yeah.
And it is. It's this weird dichotomy. It's this strange double-edged sword.
It's kind of one of those things we need to reiterate. Trust us, the guys that have done it before you, that you need the community, the veteran community, because literally it's like a set of crutches. If you start falling down, all you have to do is lean on them. And that's a point that we really try to make on here.
Yeah.
It's so important to keep those lines of communication. And, when I first heard that stat, that 22, I don't know, it might be 23, I guess it kind of fluctuates, vets a day are killing themselves, I wasn't even shocked. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And it's not combat vets. Which is an interesting thing. It's not. There's no like through line. It's not like, oh, it's all combat vets. Oh, it's all this. It's all this unit or that combat unit. Yep. It's across the board.
It is. It's across the board. It's less to do with your experience in the military than it is to do with the experience of transitioning back to civilian life.
Exactly.
Because we're all so well indoctrinated as civilians or as military personnel that when we try to become civilians, we're disenfranchised, you know.
You can't. You can never be a civilian ever again. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad of that, you know. But the thing is, we have to. What I try to do in my own little way is try to make, you know, the rest of society more like the good aspects of the military than trying to make the people coming out of the military more like the bad aspects of civilians.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we all need to do that. I mean, we all kind of have that responsibility. Like we have no excuse not to act right. We were taught how, and we know how.
Yeah.
The rest of society, they weren't necessarily. But as for us, you know, we really have to be an example. We have to set the example.
So basically, you get out of the military and you start isolating yourself because you hated some of those bullshit moments in the military. You're like, fuck police calling at 2 a.m. Hell no. And so you kind of run away with that. But then you don't realize how much your brothers were those same crutches we were talking about, you know, that support structure. So when you start looping it back in, you naturally start correcting what you're missing, and you have the added advantage of not having a chain of command making you police calls. So you got a bunch of fucking veterans that are kicking ass.
You don't have Gunny knee deep in your ass.
And on that level, going back to you and your career, is there any sort of military community in Hollywood or in the industry?
Yeah, where's your fellowship?
And then along that line, what is a moment where, you know, we're all Marines, we're all crass, we're all embarrassing every once in a while with our humor. So what is a moment where, as a Marine, you were stepped out on some project and you're just like, I just went all Marine on everybody and they all kind of looked at me funny instead of laughing like I thought they were going to, you know?
As a civilian?
Yeah, coming out.
Gotcha. Well, to start off, there's definitely a community of vets in the business, which is great. There's a whole bunch of us that have known each other, you know, some almost 20 years in every aspect, in front of the camera, behind the camera. There's some great groups like Combat Casting and Tactical Media Group. There's Dale Dye's company, Warriors Inc.
Yeah.
There's Matt Siglock, John Barton. A lot of these guys that the production companies will call them when they need vets for stuff and you know, to make the scenes more realistic and whatnot. The problem is generally they hire the actors through agencies and then they get the vets to do the extra work, which is great when you're coming up because it's a good way to pay the bills, everything like that. But once you get, where it gets difficult is once you get past that stage and you're not really an extra work kind of person anymore, those groups can't really help you anymore after that. So, but we're trying very hard to change that. We're trying to make sure that people know that there are vets working in the industry, doing it through social media. I just did a film, the one you were reading about, the Submarine Kid with Finn Wittbrock. It's going to be a great film. It's premiering in November at the Napa Valley Film Festival, and then it goes to wide release on Blu-ray and video on demand and cable in February. And that's all about exactly what we're talking about, PTSD. And him and I play Marines in Afghanistan in part of it, but most of it's about when he comes back and he's dealing with, you know, all the things, PTS and everything everybody deals with. So, like with that movie, you know, I'm constantly having the conversation with the producers, like, tell people, you know, make sure that they know that you hired real vets and whatever. And on the games I work on, like, it's just, it needs to be put out there more than it is.
Yeah.
As far as embarrassing myself, that's something I try to do on a daily basis.
Yeah. Right.
It's weird. It's funny because, you guys have all seen movies and made fun of them and how bad the military, the advisors or whoever,
just
a lot of times you
horrible.
have good advisors, but the directors and producers just don't listen to them.
Just
So you can't
horrible.
really blame them. But there are horrible, egregious things. And sometimes you'll find yourself on a set and you're reading the script and you're like, oh my God, like this is just horrific. Like, they have Marines calling each other soldier, and
Right. But it's those little things that matter.
Ugh.
At least to veterans they do. I don't know.
They do, because they take
That
you
ain't
right
little
out of
to
the
me.
film.
They ain't little, but you know what I mean.
What is that term? Suspended reality? Or,
Suspension of disbelief, yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
But you can't as a vet. I mean, because it's so ingrained in you. It's impossible. When you see somebody's uniform all screwed up, wearing their cover around, whatever it is, like you can't. It just takes you out of the movie and it ruins the whole experience for you. So I try very hard to fix those as much as I can when I'm working on something, and I've been pretty lucky. Usually they listen to me 9 times out of 10. My favorite is people saying repeat over comms. I know you guys have heard that
repeat.
Repeat.
Yeah, repeat that fire mission. All right.
one. Right?
Yeah, man.
But, usually they or the slow salute. My other favorite, the slow salute. Like, oh, God, I hate that.
So poignant. It's so poignant.
It's so
brings a
cheesy.
tear to your eye.
Right?
Hey, do they have a suggestion box at Hollywood?
They do.
They
Yeah,
do?
It's,
Really?
It's the dumpster behind Warner Brothers. No, honestly, I do. I do my best. Sometimes it's hard because you feel like, oh God, a movie set, a video game set, a TV, whatever, is very much like the military. Like the transition is very easy in that way because the chain of command is almost exactly the same. Making a movie is very similar to a military operation in every way. You have a bunch of people that you need to logistically get them here and feed them. And so you kind of, as an actor or whatever, you feel like, especially when you're not the lead actor, you're kind of like, the Lance Corporal going up to the general.
There's probably a lot of hurry up and wait, right?
There's a lot of hurry up and wait.
That sounds
but it's
familiar.
hard. You want to tell them your script is wrong, but you have to be very, very diplomatic and
Tactful.
So yeah, I don't know if that's an embarrassing moment, but that was the first thing that popped into my mind.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I sometimes I wish they had a big suggestion box on Hollywood Boulevard or something. I remember the movie Sniper with Tom Berenger back in 90.
Yes, Billy Zane.
Was it 92 or something like that? Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a scout sniper with 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, and our whole platoon went out to see that movie en masse to critique it, right?
Yeah.
And so we were either going to rip it to shreds or we were going to endorse it like anybody gave a shit, And,
Right.
If the movie producers knew that military guys were so freaking ridiculously mental about stuff like that,
It's getting there.
maybe they'd care more. I don't know.
It's getting there. I mean, they are getting better. You have to admit, some of the recent ones have been much better.
Yeah,
than they
like
have been
a lot
in the
better than
past.
Navy SEAls or something like that.
Well, nothing's better than
When
Navy
Charlie
SEALs.
Sheen jumps off
Yeah,
the bridge
baby, I love
out
it.
of the
that-
Jeep,
That
Some of the
was
best
so
ones
that
cool.
was
ever.
badass.
Yeah.
Doesn't get-
But you look at it and just go, oh my God.
And old boy
But
had
they
that
are.
fucking houseboat that was sick. Oh,
It was.
baller status.
Because
was.
most E6s are ballers.
Dude, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL just so that I can have a houseboat, a Jeep, and jump off bridges.
And jump
The
off
fuck
bridges.
is wrong
Right?
with you?
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen can do it, I can do it.
Winning.
why would you not want that in your life? Yeah.
He's got tiger blood, so there's that.
Topper
Tiger.
Hartley has tiger blood. My name's Topper Hartley, and I endorse this.
And I endorse this message.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, Sniper. I thought Berenger. I can't remember the film that well, but I
He's just
thought
awesome.
he was pretty believable as a Marine.
Yeah, he was, but
Like he deserved a better film. I felt.
Yes.
he did. Yes, he
That's
deserved
the
a better
best
series
way
because they
I've
only
ever
got
heard
worse
that
from
put.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deserved
You know,
a better
Sniper
film.
2 and 3 and however many they ended up making. I don't know. I think they ended up like 4 or 5, but Yeah,
Right.
they got like progressively worse, and the storylines got progressively less believable, and
Right.
you know, and then his acting started to suffer along with it, I think, because he was trying to play these fake ass characters. But
Right.
yeah.
There's only
It's
so
like
much you can do with a bad script.
I
Yeah.
was really
No
like
matter.
that way, the same way that you were about Sniper. I was the same way about Heartbreak Ridge.
oh yeah,
Like a lot of people love that movie, but all right,
I know.
So it's Camp Lejeune. See, I'm a recon Marine at that time.
Yeah.
So
And they were showing them as if they were recruits.
yeah, at Camp Lejeune, which
yo.
seriously, it was in Camp Pendleton.
Yeah,
I mean, anyone that knows anything knows that that's not Camp Lejeune.
Yeah, it was Talaga.
Talaga,
yeah.
right?
Second Marine Division's
Exactly.
headquartered at Camp Talaga, Camp
Yeah,
Pendleton.
Talaga, Camp
yeah.
Pendleton.
All right.
So just ridiculous, and then Gunny talking like this was just a
Right.
bit too much. Drove me
Kissing
freaking crazy.
Constantine Wire.
I'm pissing Constantina wire. You know, I mean, come on, dude.
What, your gunny didn't talk like that?
No,
No.
no, but I can talk like that.
Senior drill instructor Gunnery Sergeant Hartley.
A 10 hut.
Yeah, yeah.
Like seriously?
10 hut.
A 10 hut. No. Anyway.
This is the AK-47.
So yeah, you know Early Ermy, don't you?
Yeah. We were just with him 2 weeks ago at in Quantico for that golf tournament.
That dude's
Yeah,
got to be a
baby.
trip.
Oh my
He's
God.
he is an awesome. Oh man, I love being around that guy. Like he is the real deal. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of that, but I've
he's-
heard that he's got this really big heart.
He's a great guy. I mean, all the stuff he does. He does a lot of nonprofits as well. I mean, he does it all. This is on his own time. You
Yeah.
know, he does it. He doesn't do it, for the money. That's for sure. But he's been able to build an amazing career, like based on that film. One film. You know, it's just not that he'd done a couple other things before then. Apocalypse Now, Boys and Company,
Firebase Gloria.
Firebase
Freaking
Gloria.
fantastic. Yeah.
That's a
That
great
is a
movie.
great movie, actually.
The guy with
It
the
is.
mine in the woods. Yeah.
Lots-
Yeah, we were just him and I
lots
were
of-
talking about that.
Yeah, lots of good blood and guts in there.
They've been showing it on cable a lot, so he was stoked to hear that.
All right.
Was he a Marine?
Film adaptation for our guest Scott Levy here. Scott Levy, Arlie Ermy, Army of Two. Let's see
Yes.
what happened. Film adaptation.
Army of Two, too.
Tutus. Pink tutus.
Army of Tutus.
I want to be in that one. Tutus.
I
want to do a movie. I want to do a movie with Dale Dye and Lee
Yeah.
Ermey and me. I got to hang out. I had a meeting with him about a possible film coming up. Like those guys are to me, they're like superheroes. Like
Well, they're
they
like
were
legends.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. And like I'm so proud to call both of them friends. It's it's just weird. Like I never could have imagined that happening. You know, growing up watching them in all these great war films that we all grew up on.
Yeah. That's kind of
so
cool.
yeah,
You go from a lowly stinger gunner to getting to hang out with guys like that. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, I was a Lance Corporal.
I'm messing with you, man.
And I was with the assistant commandant the other night, and it's just nuts. It's just weird.
It is just weird, right?
Who the hell is the assistant commandant anymore?
No,
I lost
is he
track.
now?
Yeah.
Because they just had the change
Right.
Yeah. Who is
Cap
it? Who is it
track?
now?
last week.
Yeah. Who is it?
I can't remember his name now.
Oh,
See,
you
that's-
met him, but you don't know his name. You called him Sir.
No.
That's his name. Sir.
His name is Sir. My name's Sir there, Lance Corporal.
Lejeune.
Yeah, I'm Lejeune.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's funny when like a 3 or 4 star puts their arm around you and they want to take a picture with you, and you're just like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. Like
Life is
you know,
crazy. Oh my gosh.
I still, I'm still very much a Lance Corporal at heart.
Well, the new commandant, I can tell you, is a fantastic guy because he was our
Good.
division commander in Okinawa at 3rd Marine Division. Freaking awesome dude. Awesome dude.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Very down to earth, kind of to the point, no bullshit kind of guy.
And we're representing as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah,
There
Marine
it
Corps
is.
stepping it up.
Fighting Joe. Getting the job done. Put up the wall, Joe. Put it up, buddy. Ain't
Oh,
nothing
my
going
gosh.
down. No bad deals, Joe. You know what I'm talking about. Iran. What? What'd you say?
What? Who?
Huh?
Iran.
I didn't say anything, Ayatollah. You know what I'm saying? Over
I
here.
told her rock and roll.
There it is. See?
Was that
Comedic
from
recall.
Heartbreak Ridge?
Comedic.
There it is. Comedic recall.
Yeah. The I told rock and roll.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, got a question for you there, Scott Levy.
I got an answer.
Biggest moment in your acting career, filmology, televisionery. I don't know how else to put this. In your film career or acting, what have you, within your industry, biggest like oh shit moment where you're like, oh my god, I don't have an answer for this, and you're like, fuck it, remember your training, and kind of like snap back into that military mentality where you're like, the only way out is through. Can you give us an incident like that?
Probably, it's interesting because video games, there's really no way to sort of prepare. It's very different from acting in a movie or a TV show, because you're in the mocap suit and you're in sort of a blank room, really, just lined with cameras, and there's really no props. There's no locate. You know what I mean? It's just sort of you and your imagination and a couple of other actors.
The battle's in your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you really. I mean, it's when I first came to LA. When I left Skywalker, I was like, I better do some theater. I'm way behind, obviously, everyone else my own age. And thank God I joined a theater company, just like a little experimental black box theater company. Did a couple plays with them for a couple years, and it was kind of the exact same thing as making a video game. Like no props, no scenery, no real wardrobe. So when I got to wherever I was working on my first game, I can't even remember, House of Moves, I think it was. And all of a sudden you're just in a blank room in a mocap suit, and you got to pretend this is the moment, right? You got to all those commands we were talking about. Run to the chopper and
run to the chopper.
Got to get over there.
You got to get out of here.
Andy does impressions.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. Kindergarten cop. Awesome. So yeah, it was sort of it was that moment where I was like taken aback and kind of had a moment, kind of an oh shit moment, like, oh my God, am I sort of out of my league here? And I was working with some recognizable name actors. Come to find out, a lot of them hadn't done a video game before either, so that was kind of, we kind of bonded over that at lunch.
They're just boots. They're boots.
Yeah, like thank God I'd done that theater, or I might have choked. I might have just kind of shit my pants and forgot my dialogue. I don't know.
See, they'd put me in one of those mocaps with the ping pong balls all over it and shit, and I'd be like, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, and then like crush ping pong ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been doing it the right way, not the pogue way where you baseball slide in. Like I'm getting down there.
No, we do, man. Those little ping pong balls are pretty durable. I mean, we actually we throw ourselves around in those suits.
That's awesome. Did they give you, so you said that you have like a rubber gun? Do you go through transitions to pistol and like got to do a magazine exchange true?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys have played, a lot of the recent games, the Medal of Honor and
I played the shit out of that game.
They're pretty spot on, as much as you can be in a video game. I mean, they, as far as like you're saying, mag changes and.
Very cool.
Yeah, my 20-year-old daughter is a junior in college, and she's a big fan of Call of Duty and stuff like that.
I have a meeting with them on Monday.
Really?
Actually, funny enough.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been trying to get on a Call of Duty game for years.
Yeah.
And I had dinner with Sergeant Major McMichael, the 14th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we know Al. He's a good guy.
Al, yeah.
Listen to me. Listen to this guy.
Yeah, I met him playing golf when we were at the thing in Quantico, and he was like, hey, I sit on the board for the Call of Duty endowment, and, I'd like to help you get on that game. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
I'm cool with that.
I accept this.
They have an endowment?
So, yeah, Monday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Call of Duty has an endowment? What
yeah, they they give back to Wounded Warrior or they have their own type of same thing like Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's like the most widely played video game.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Something like that. Well, first person shooter. I don't know.
Yeah, Yeah, it would be cool to have Medal of Honor in Call of Duty. That would be kind of a career.
Hell yes.
So are you able to
Trifecta.
ad-lib at all in that studio setting? Like, die, motherfucker, die! And then someone else runs
Oh, yeah.
shut the fuck up, Carl.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes!
Shut the fuck up.
Plus, when we're doing it, when we're shooting it on the day, it's the same as a movie. We're doing it as if we're doing a movie or a TV show. So anyway, yeah. So after you do it on the day, then you go back after the animators are done, and you go into a booth, and you re-record all of your dialogue. So yeah, there's a lot of different opportunities between those two to come up with some stuff, or to just sometimes you ask them, can I just start riffing, and they're stoked because these guys, they want their game to be as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
So they'll put a lot of trust in you.
That's cool.
I would love to do that
I
shit.
would have so much
Oh,
fun
I'd go
doing that.
freaking
Hey, you
nuts.
suppose you can get us on there? Like the whole Cigars and Sea Stories team
I mean,
to be like extras? We
You
can
never
we can
know.
be in the background making crowd
It'll be the
noises.
least
Like,
serious part of
Kill
any
bodies, eat babies. Yes.
I mean, if I'm working on a game and you guys are out here, if you want to come visit, I'm sure I could make that happen.
Dude, I'm all about. Hey, let's be out there all the time. until we get on there.
Let's be out there all the time.
Hey, we've been talking about that whole plan of ours, that we're not.
Where do you
gonna
guys
tell anybody
Where do you
about.
guys live?
We live, well, okay, the company is here with me north of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
So, yep. So I live just north of Wake Forest, and we run everything. Cigars and Sea Stories Studios, not to sound too fancy or anything, I mean, we're sitting in my basement right now.
Oh, it's fancy.
You know?
It's the freaking Death Star.
That's a studio.
With professional equipment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
It's like a Battlestar Galactica in here.
But I'll tell you, it's cool, though, because, having 4 Marines at your house out sitting on acreage, I mean, I call it Fob Invictus. So it's like, it's a secure area where
That sounds awesome.
we can fuck around and give each other strangers and stuff. So
And
it's
shoot
cool.
guns.
It's awesome.
And shoot guns off the back porch.
Can you really?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Oh yes.
It's pretty cool.
I'm so jealous.
You got to
That's
come
a-
out
I'm
and
gonna
visit,
get to
man.
visit though because I live in
I would
sunny
love to.
Delaware.
Come on out, Scott Levy. Come on out.
I would love to. Definitely hit me up on Facebook if we're not in touch. And next time I'm in town, I will definitely swing by. If you can shoot guns off your porch, you had me at guns.
I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
And drink and whatever, all at the same time.
Well, I'm not exaggerating at all when I tell you that I will kill a deer out of my second-story bathroom window.
Oh, man.
Someday.
It's happening. It's happening
That's
in like
awesome.
a couple of weeks here, Bennett. Okay.
Soon as the season
That
opens.
Sunday is like a Wednesday from now. Okay.
So do you get out this way very often, or what, or
Not
ever?
really. I mean, like I said, we were just in Quantico for that
Ever?
event. But before that, it had been a while.
Yeah.
We usually go down to Florida because that's where most of the family is. But you never know, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love North Carolina. We lived in Greensboro
know.
when I was a kid,
Okay.
which was beautiful. And then obviously when I was in the Marines, I was there a couple times.
I'm
Cherry
still
Point.
I'm still out there close to Lejeune. I'm in between Lejeune and Cherry Point.
Okay, yeah, I know
yeah.
exactly where it is.
You might recall Bogue Field.
I don't.
You don't.
But,
Well, never mind then.
I mean, I went between the two all
Yeah.
the time, so I'm sure I saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool trips we want. We keep meeting all these great folks. My girlfriend is an actress. She won an Emmy actually. She's on soaps.
Wow.
Whoa. Do we know her?
Her name's Leslie Kay. She won her Emmy for As the World Turns. Now she's on Bold and Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah,
You're a
so-
lucky man, dude. All the soap opera chicks are hot.
There you go.
right?
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Definitely moving up in the world.
Yeah. Good for you.
I feel
Good for you.
very
And,
lucky.
and if you happen to marry her, you're definitely
There it
married
was
up.
on Firewatch, and somebody's like, "Hey man, what are you gonna do when you get out of the Corps?" Well, I
I'm gonna marry us.
was thinking about shacking up with an Emmy award-winning soap opera actress, but not a big deal. He's like, "Yeah, okay, Dick, sure."
it sounds
Say again?
ridiculous.
Right, it does. Absolutely.
It sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
But when it's your life, you're just kind of like,
this
sort
is
of what I
pretty
do.
cool.
But yeah, when you say it out loud, it sounds fucking preposterous.
Yeah. You know what? That's so cool though, because that's really what Cigars and Sea Stories is all about. You know, is bringing, you know, veterans together to talk about the fact that, you know, yes, we can do this. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, you talked about your struggles a little bit when you got out, and we've all had those, and discussed them with other guests that experienced similar things. But they rose above them, you know, and they worked hard.
That's what I love, man. That's what I love.
Yeah, some things fell in your lap probably, but you know, you probably worked to make your luck happen, you know.
Yeah, no, I ate a lot of ramen noodles, brother.
Yeah.
It took me 10 years to be a working actor.
Yeah.
And that's a long time.
It is.
To sort of to be knocking on door. You know, that's a lot of rejection. And it wears on you. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
But it's like anything, you know. It's like if I hadn't had that experience, if I didn't have the Marine Corps experience, there's no way I would have lasted as long as I have. Yeah. But it's like boot camp or whatever training. If you want it bad enough, you're gonna do it. You're gonna suck it up. And to be able to do this stuff with you guys right now, and have some kid that maybe is still in, or he's getting out, or he just got out, or maybe he's been out 10 years and he still doesn't know what he wants to do. Like, that's why we're doing this. That's why this is awesome.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
For that person. Because, like, yeah, we're vets. It's so funny that you say that. We were at Halloween Horror Nights the other night, and which is really fun at Universal. And one of Leslie's friends was there, and we were talking, and she was talking about Dancing with the Stars, and she was like, "Oh, you know that this is such a civilian. This is amazing. You guys are gonna love it." She goes, "Yeah, you know that kid that was on the train from the army who stopped the train thing in France. He's on Dancing with the Stars now." And I was so shocked because he's actually really good, and he's like a normal person, and he's smiley and happy, and I'm like, "Oh my god." Oh my god!
He's like a normal person. What the hell did you think he was gonna be?
Like, what did you expect? Like the Terminator or fucking RoboCop? Like he's gonna be all stiff and with a.
I am an American soldier, an army of
one. Exactly. I just rolled my eyes. I smile. I'm like, yeah, no, that's great. That's super. But inside, I'm just like, oh my god, like what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
It's.
Do you ever just instinctively form a knife hand? Everyone's like, why is his right hand shaking?
Right? They think I'm getting ready to do a slow salute, but it's really just shaking.
Is there sunlight glinting off his hand? Did it turn to steel? It's a knife hand. Oh my god. Yeah.
But that's what we're trying to change, and that's why, like, doing a show like this or doing all the other stuff that we do and you guys do and I do, like, that's to change that impression. It was so funny, and the fact that that just happened like 2 days ago makes me laugh.
So that's a great lead in to the nonprofit stuff that you do. Finish your thought, but tell us about your nonprofit work and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I work with the first one I got involved with was Operation Supply Drop, which I don't know if you guys know about that, but it is amazing, and it's a bunch of vets that put together this nonprofit. And their mission statement is to get video games and consoles out to guys that are deployed downrange.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely look them up, Google them, and also to vets that are sort of, have fallen through the cracks or whatever, and they're having a tough time. Maybe PTS stuff, maybe TBI, maybe they're just depressed. Maybe they just feel like nobody cares about their sacrifice, and they're down in the dumps. So we get them some video games and some consoles, and make sure that they know that people care about their sacrifice that they made. So that I'm very proud to be a part of that organization. It's one of those things that, again, you wish would have existed when you were in. That's why I love doing this stuff, because it's like, I wish somebody would have thought of that back then.
I never got a video game when I was deployed.
Well, you should let them know. Send them your address and tell them you're very depressed.
Oh, jeez. No, I'm just kidding. So tell us about Young Marines. This is one that I have heard of.
Oh, man. I'm so stoked to be part of that. And that's how I ended up hanging out with Gunny all the folks that Sergeant Major Overstreet is.
Oh, that's old school, man. I remember him.
Really old school.
He was Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps when I came in.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, he still was in 90 when I was in. And then they switched over, and I can't remember who it was. But, yeah, so it's cool. It's like, oh, my God, you were the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps when I was in. But he's a big supporter as well. A lot of really cool folks. Sergeant Major O is amazing. That's who we went shooting with when we were with on Quantico.
Cool.
So Young Marines is an organization that's been around for a very long time. I think it's the 50s, if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of people don't know about it or haven't known about it, and that's our job right now, is to get the word out that it exists, because it's kind of even more necessary now than it's ever been. And it's not necessarily a direct pipeline to the military or the Marine Corps, but it's kind of like the badass version of the Boy Scouts. And it's teaching kids leadership skills. It's teaching them all of the amazing things that we learned in the Marine Corps, and how to live a more positive life, how to be more successful. And it's something, again, that I wish I would have known about, or my parents would have known about, because I really needed it. I was pretty out of control as a kid, and I think that could have been a good step in the right direction for me. But it's a really, really great organization, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it somewhat like Marine Corps Junior ROTC or something like that?
Yes.
I see young kids younger than high school involved in the program, where they're wearing, camouflage uniforms, but they're just set up a little different. And it seems like it's a different age demographic, I think, or.
I believe it's 8 years old. I believe it goes that young to all the way through high school.
Okay, got it.
So after high school, then you're done. But yeah, I mean that's a pretty nice chunk of time. You can really accomplish a lot. I've seen what these kids have accomplished and made of themselves, and the ones that really excel, they take them on an Iwo Jima trip every year. I mean, they do really
cool.
Yeah, like just awesome.
That is cool, man. I would love to go out to Iwo.
Yeah, me too. And I believe, fingers crossed, I think they're going to take me next year. This year they brought me back some sand, which was good enough. I mean, that was like,
yeah.
I was stoked. I cherish that, having that sand.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so definitely Google Young Marines as well, and check out some of the things they're doing. Maybe give them a plug. Same with OSD. And really, this is mostly all vets doing this stuff. Vets, helping kids, just trying to make the world a better place, man. There's something that made us all join the military in the first place. A sense of duty, a sense of service, and when you have that, it's not like it goes away, when you're discharged.
Yeah.
And I think we all feel that very strongly. And there's so many ways to serve and to stay in touch and to stay in the loop, and to, you get just as much out of it as you put into it, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things we talk about here on the show all the time, and even just amongst ourselves, is the need, the absolute need for most veterans, when they do the transition, to find a mission,
yes,
to find a new sense of purpose when they take off that uniform for the last time. So that's
so
awesome.
important. And so please, if you can, give those guys a plug. I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've seen young Marines all over the place throughout my career in the Marine Corps. You see them at like Veterans Day events and all kinds of local things. Honoring veterans and stuff like that. They get out there and they'll provide color guard or they'll be like escorts. For special guests and things like that. And they're all over the place.
They do a lot of stuff, like you're saying, color guards, and they also they do a lot of stuff to help out the Navajo code talkers, which there's not many of those guys left. So they go out there every year and they have a big ceremony to honor those folks, and I think they do stuff with the honor flights. Like it's beautiful to watch, man, because they're these kids. And you see them, and they're so enamored of the vets, and the vets are so enamored of them, and it's just like this beautiful symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's
and
something
we need
special.
that, man. We need it really bad right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's something special about being able to impact a new generation, you know, the ones coming up. Because, you know, we're getting up there in years, you know.
Yes.
You and I, we're not spring chickens. And,
That's right.
You know, one of these days somebody's going to have to take our place. And I think it's awesome to see you know, getting involved in things like this because, you know, these kids are going to be replacing us at some point. And, you know, we want to mold them in our image. You know,
You with that goddamn Smeagol voice.
Schmeagol. Yeah. Anyway,
It also just kind of keeps it really keeps you focused on what's important in life as well.
yeah,
You know, especially being out here amongst the madness. Like I was talking to Gunny about that last week. He lives way up in the high desert. He's like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you live down, you know, amongst the madness of Hollywood, as he calls it.
yeah,
And I'm like, I know. I don't know how I do it either. Honestly, I was like, I'm probably not far behind you. I'm probably we're gonna be moving, you know, somewhere in that direction. Because like you said, like same thing. Like he can shoot guns off his, you know, out his back porch, whatever. And we need that, like as Marines. Like,
yeah.
We just, I don't know. It keeps us sane for some reason on some level.
Yeah.
But
Or at least it keeps us within our own particular brand of insanity, whichever.
right.
Something we're
Exactly.
used to, anyhow.
Right. It's so much better. So yeah, it's really important to maintain that brotherhood and pass it on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Scott, so tell us what's in the future for you. What do you got? Any big irons in the fire, or you know what do you got planned?
Some really pretty cool stuff. Like I said, Submarine Kid is coming out November, premiering at Napa, and then comes out in February. And then I have a new game.
That movie, actually, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but that movie's title threw me off hardcore.
Uh-huh.
It's not something that you would expect.
It's not about submarines?
Well, no, not exactly. But it's actually pretty.
Well, then why'd they
serious
name it
piece.
that? If it's not about submarines, why'd they call it about submarines?
Come to find out, I didn't even know until I went to the cast and crew screening. But the Submarine Kid was apparently a comic book hero in the lore of this film.
Oh, okay. All right.
So our hero is trying to be like this comic book character.
Oh, okay.
It's cool. It's a very artistic, interesting approach on these issues. You know, PTS and whatnot. That's coming out, and then December I have a video game called Devil's Third, where I play a Delta operator, coming out, which is going to be really fun.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing a lot of action stuff. Are you your own stuntman when you do things like this?
Pretty much. I mean, I'll do the stuff that isn't sort of that you can't break anything, but you know, because if you here's the issue. It's not because I don't want to, and it's not because I'm afraid to. It's because if I do break my arm or I do break my leg or whatever, then I can't play my part.
Yeah,
and they're, you know what I mean? They're not going to necessarily put the game on hold. They're going to get somebody else.
Well, and plus you're kind of cutting into some stuntman's job.
That's true too.
Yeah.
So, you know, there is a method to the madness. It's not because I don't want to. It's because if I do, then I'm kind of screwed, and the game could be screwed or the movie or the show or whatever could be screwed as well. But yeah, that's going to be a really cool game. But it's only coming out for PC and Wii U at first, so I don't know if they're going to go to PS4 or Xbox One at some point.
Well, I prefer the PC games, anyways. Better
Yeah, a lot of
graphics.
people
No big
do.
deal.
A lot of people say the graphics are better.
So you got anything new, like any secrets that you can divulge to us? Like you heard it first here on Cigars and Sea Stories?
Well, I had that meeting, like I was saying, with Dale Dye about a month ago.
I like
He's
Dale.
got something in the work, right? Have you met him or?
No, just big fan. Yeah, always been a fan of him.
He's a great guy. Like, you know, yeah, of course, I'm a huge fan as well. And it's always nice when you meet people and they're cool, because man, it seems like the opposite happens just as much, sometimes maybe even more.
Because it sucks when they're a prick.
It really ruins it. Like it really, especially if you're a big fan and you have all their movies, and then you can't even enjoy the film after that. Like, that's a huge bummer.
Yeah.
So I was really glad when I met Dale and Gunny that they were just exactly what you'd expect and exactly like their characters that they play for the most part. So Dale is awesome, and he's got a thing in the works. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about it. He's been trying to get this project off the ground for 4 or 5 years, and it looks like I was able to hook him up with a friend of mine who is a producer who is also an airborne West Point grad officer and is now a movie producer. And I hooked those two up, and it looks like they're getting close to the financing coming through. Mm-hmm. And it's a really cool World War II film based on a book called No Better Place to Die.
Oh, I know that book.
Oh.
Yeah, it's basically what the airborne was doing during the beach assault, Normandy, on D-Day.
Nice.
Where they were landing, which was everywhere.
Well, what happened? They had to go in before the beachhead,
right?
In order to secure the bridges, so that the Nazis couldn't get the Panzers to the beach. If they did it right, it would have been horrific. It would have probably stopped the landing. So they had to hold these bridges. It's amazing stuff. It's crazy that a movie's never been made of it. Like, it's really compelling, Saving Private Ryan kind of heroics.
Yeah, like a Bridge Too Far kind of thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely like Bridge
That's
Too,
cool,
like
man.
Bridge Too Far.
That sounds like a great project. Is that
I don't want to talk about it too much, but I hate to jinx stuff. If
Oh yeah, but yeah. So you think you might maybe potentially have some involvement with said secret project?
Yeah, I mean, it's not secret. It's up on IMDb. It's there's you can find info about it online.
Oh well, we're not talking about it anymore then. If it's like common knowledge, we only want it if it's a secret. Anyway, nah, I'm just kidding.
He was trying to look over your shoulder while you was on SipperNet, son. That's what's up. You were all getting sent.
Damn,
down
I thought
traffic.
I had the scoop.
What's going on?
This isn't a scoop, dadgummit. All right.
So yeah, I'm trying to help him produce it. I'd like to really see it get off the ground. Of course, I want to be in it, and we've had that conversation. Right now, it's just a matter of how big the part would be. Because he wants to do it, sort of in the same vein as, how they did Band of Brothers and Private Ryan. They didn't use huge names. Obviously they had Tom Hanks, but at the time, a lot of those guys weren't really known. Just kind of Vin Diesel's first thing and some of those other guys. Yeah. They weren't household names, certainly. Sure. So he wants to keep it, which I agree. I like to see war movies. You don't want to see the same 5 actors over and over, because it just, especially with war, it kind of dampens your suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
When you see faces that you haven't seen a million times, it's so much easier to go there and really believe that they are who they're trying to portray.
Absolutely. Like Tom Cruise, way overplayed.
Yes, like Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Exactly like
it's
Tom
like
Cruise.
A Tom Cruise vendetta he's got over here. Some of that.
No, I'm just saying, whatever. So, I mean, I've already seen him in a Navy uniform in whatever that movie was back in the day. So I can't imagine seeing him in a Marine Corps uniform now.
You have neither the time
Take that,
nor
Tom
inclination.
Cruise.
He has played Navy a lot, huh? And he's never played a Marine.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cute.
That's kind of a stretch. So
it is a stretch. I don't know if he could pull it off. He's got the chops.
Yeah. He don't have the rugged good looks.
No, but you know who does and who kicks ass is freaking Kevin Bacon, man. That guy can play a Marine like nobody's business. I don't know if you guys saw Taking Chance.
Yeah, made me cry.
That one was heavy.
Made me cry.
It did.
But also,
me too.
I did.
A Few Good Men. He nailed that.
Yeah. As
How about
as
Kevin
the young
Spacey as a Marine? What did you think about that?
Spacey.
Frank Underwood's son. House.
We don't talk about him.
Really?
Hey, so who's a big name in the community now that's a Marine, that was a Marine?
Yeah, there's so many great old school ones. I'm trying to think of who.
So you're it right now.
Basically.
You're like the lone Marine.
You're the point man.
On, taking on.
Are we looking for
What's
active
the other
careers?
guy?
If you're looking for active careers, Gene Hackman.
Right.
He's a Marine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but he's not exactly current generation.
Right.
True,
Right.
Not in the forefront,
Drew Carey.
Yeah,
He's
Drew
no
Carey.
Bieber.
Oh yeah,
He's
no
no
beard.
Bieber. We're looking for the Justin Bieber of the Marine Corps in Hollywood.
I don't know.
That's a
Bieber,
weird
that exists.
combo. Yeah, that's
I
a weird
can't remember.
combo.
There's a
raped.
guy, and I can't remember his name. Goodness gracious.
Well, you could be the point man for a new movement of veteran actors in Hollywood.
Well, I hope that I am on some level, in the tip of the spear of that. I'm working hard every day to elevate my profile. In my goal is to get to that point so I can, sort of bring others with me and make movies more accurate and games and. I have a lot of really good intentions, and I hope that is true. I hope I am on the cutting
Well, I
edge.
tell you what, if you're trying to get the word out there, there's no illustrious interview than coming on Cigars and Sea Story. I mean, you
came
can
right
really
to the
leverage
class,
the shit out of it.
You can't buy this kind of
You
advertising.
could have cried on Oprah's couch or come on here. So, good
I feel
fucking
that.
choice, man.
Good choice.
I can feel my profile elevating.
There it is.
That's right.
Influencer status.
Hey, so we're sitting in the Death Star that is Fob Invictus, the Cigars and Sea Stories headquarters here, and I'm looking at this big flat screen TV that's got your image on it, and when I squint at it, if I hold my hand over the lower part of your face, and so I only see like your eyes and above, right, and I squint, it looks like Gary Sinise.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, that's good because I love Gary Sinise, great
Whoa.
guy, great human. Great human.
He's not a vet.
No, not a vet, but he's a great human. I met him in Afghanistan. Oh, I'm sorry.
really?
I'm sorry. Iraq. Yeah, wrong country. Sorry. Yeah, he came and visited some of our guys that were wounded, that were hanging out there waiting to get evac'd. And
Yeah, I produced a film last year called Sovereign, a short film that we're trying to make into a feature.
Mhm.
We had 33 vets in front of and behind the camera,
wow.
which I don't think has ever been done before. I don't know, but I believe that's some sort of record.
And it's called what again?
It's called Sovereign.
Sovereign. Okay, like the sovereign nation.
Exactly. It's not the best movie ever made. We did what we could with the money we had and everything like that. And we asked Gary if he would share it, plug it on his social media, and he didn't.
He didn't. Oh.
So that's kind of where I'm at with him.
Oh, okay. Well,
Tension.
well, maybe we'll just have to a guy like that, he's so big that he's got handlers and people that run his social media for him and all that
He
kind
watched
of thing.
it. He watched it.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, because he emailed me back and said that he had, and he knew some people that were in it. So I know he did watch it.
Is it out there? I mean, can we go see that
it's
movie?
on YouTube.
Yeah?
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Just put in like Sovereign 2015 or something like that.
Yeah,
This is
I
not a
don't
project
know
I
if he
want to
wanted to
endorse.
distance himself from the politics of it,
Yeah.
because we sort of dedicated it to the heroes of Benghazi, and we were not very kind to the former Secretary of State in it.
And what's the movie that's coming out about Benghazi? What's that called?
Yeah, Michael Bay's got one.
Is it called Benghazi? I don't know.
13
No.
I thought it was just
13
Hillary
hours
fucked
or
up.
something, but it's that movie. The trailer looks awesome.
Night with
So,
Hillary.
Yeah, Night with Hillary.
Jeez. That's creepy.
One Night with Hillary.
That's creepy.
Ugh.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
No.
Not even Bill.
Not even Bill. Clearly,
That was awesome.
He just likes to spend time with his cigars.
he does. So I don't know if it was because of the politics of it. I don't know what the story was. I'm sure I'll run into him again at some point.
Yeah.
Because he told us we were at a disabled vets small business meeting where he had been getting an award that day, and my buddy Jack, who was a Marine captain and plays the lead in Sovereign, and him and I wrote it together. He introduced me to Gary, and Gary was very gracious about it and told us he'd watch it. But yeah, he declined to share it,
Interesting.
which kind of bummed me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I have to take that up with him next time I see him in Iraq. Interesting.
There you go. Well,
I appreciate it.
Well, Scott Levy, I gotta say, man, that's been great sharing sea stories with you, brother.
You too. I feel like we could do this till tomorrow morning.
Let's
I'm having a
do
good
that. No, the guys are looking at me like, no, let's not do that.
Yeah, he's the one who has to edit all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
right.
for the everybody.
Yeah.
Don't
Sorry.
worry, I'll make everyone sound good.
I tried to keep them to a minimum.
Thank you. Well, you're actually speaking like an orator. I'm talking to my cohorts here.
Yeah. It's mainly me and Mike.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, but hey, for my part, I appreciate that you're bringing that attention back to vets that are still in and going that route with it. You know, we're at the onset of that same type of path.
That's the goal, you know.
And we're focusing on the business side, but we got our entertainment endeavor here that's an amalgamation of both.
Well, anytime we all get together, it's entertainment, no matter whether you record it or not. So, you know.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people that are using their powers for evil, you know, to disrupt society and our country and drag it down. So there needs to be guys like us on the other side that are using our powers for good.
Yeah, man.
And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, we'll pick this country up by its bootstraps.
Yep.
That's the plan, brother.
That's it. That is.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on. Listeners, don't forget to subscribe, rate, review the podcast. Go ahead. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, and Player FM. Shoot us a comment, question, thought, concern. We love hearing things from veteran supporters and people who think we suck. So if you would, go ahead, click subscribe. Scott Levy, thank you so much, brother.